Hello everyone, I'm Amelia. Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to give you a tip for how you can feel more grounded and more secure in the saddle. And let me know if you struggle with this. I think it's hard, none of us want to fall off, and we feel pretty secure when we're walking around, but when you're in the saddle you might feel very tippy or off balance. So a really good way to feel grounded in the saddle is to really focus on your feet in the stirrups. And I have to credit Sally Swift for this tip. I was reading her book, and if you haven't checked out Sally Swift's book called Centered Riding, it's really such a good book. I'll link it down below where you can purchase it. But she was talking about exactly what your feet should be doing in the stirrups. So that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if it helps you out or what you're working on with your horse. I always love to hear from you guys. So the first thing that we want to think about, and what Sally Swift talks about, is what we call the bubbling spring. So the bubbling spring is a point on your foot. It's the balance point of your foot. So if you draw a line through the middle of your foot, like from your heel up, the line goes between your big toe and your second toe. And then if you draw a perpendicular line to that right below the ball of your foot, that's your bubbling spring. And so when you're riding, you want your stirrup to go on that bubbling spring, and you want to be able to feel your balance point in your stirrup. So in order to feel this, your stirrup has to be sitting perpendicular to your foot. And then as you go through your ride, if you use your leg or if you make a transition, you have to check in and make sure that you can feel the ball of your foot on the stirrup. And this is really going to help you to feel grounded when you're in the saddle. So I'll show you a little bit this in motion. It was funny though, I was reading her book, and I ride a lot. I ride a lot of horses, and I started thinking about this bubbling spring and really paying attention to my feet in the stirrups when I'm riding. So a couple of tips to help you feel this. One is that, like you saw, Mercurio was sleeping, so I had to give him a little kick to get him to go. But it's really important that when you give that kick, that you still keep the weight on the ball of your foot, so that you make a little correction and then feel your bubbling spring and feel that weight down in your seat. It's really important that you have weight in your stirrups, one, so that you stay connected and that you don't fall off, and then two, so that you don't lose your stirrups. Because if you're drawing your legs up and your foot slides out of the stirrup, then see, now I've lost my stirrups. So that's why it's really important to keep the weight on your foot. Another common problem that happens that I see a lot is that their stirrups either go like this, so they're angled too much forward. You want to make sure that your stirrup is 90 degrees to your horse, or other times people end up with their stirrups back here too much in the arch of their foot. So again, you really want to feel your stirrup and the weight going into that balance point of your foot. To get your horse going forward, you may have to give a little bump and then release your leg long again. It's also really important to note that in order to keep your foot in the stirrup, you have to have flexibility in your ankles. So you need to be able to push your heels down. If you have tight calves, then you need to make sure to do some stretches before you get on. So I'll just go through in rising trot, same thing. I'm posting, but as I'm going here, I'm really saying, okay, can I keep that balance point? Can I feel the bubbling spring? What you're going to notice is that when you start paying attention to this, some of the benefits is that it helps to keep your center of gravity lower. It helps to keep you from losing your stirrup. You're also going to feel like your legs are longer and more effective. And then same thing in the sitting trot. I'm thinking about moving my hips, but lengthening my legs so that I really feel that bubbling spring. and canter as well. And you noticed how there, like I put my leg on for the canter, but I most definitely kept the weight in my stirrup when I did that. So I gave, you know, a little correction, and I might give my horse a little kick, but whenever I put my leg on, it's really important that I stay grounded in my stirrups and that I always check in with feeling that bubbling spring again. Boy. So just as you're riding around over the next few rides, really notice this feeling in your stirrups. You can also play around with kind of like wiggling your toes, and it's really going to help you so that you don't end up gripping with your legs and that you're really using your legs correctly. Boy, and like make a correction. Like there I said, come on, go a little more forward, because I haven't really warmed him up yet today. And then pushing my heels down, feeling my ball of my foot on the stirrup. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So it's definitely something that, you know, you use your leg and then you check in with your bubbling spring again. And you use your leg and then you check in with your bubbling spring. For me, I tend to like be too much on the outside of my foot and not have enough pressure into the inside of my foot. So I've been really trying to feel that and feel like the entire stirrup across my foot. And again, the reason that this is important is because it helps you feel grounded. It helps to lower your center of gravity so that you can be more secure and effective up here. When you have your stirrups correct, it's much more likely that if your horse spooks or spins or does something, that you're going to stay with your horse. And it's also going to allow your leg to be more effective, so that if you need to use your leg, you can use your leg, and then you can go back to this feeling. So I hope this video was helpful. And again, your legs are such an important aid to communicate with your horse. And so this feeling will help your leg position. It will help allow your seat to move better with the horse. And it really will allow you to stay safe and be more effective in your riding. So thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Also check out in the description, I have a free mini course on confidence that might help you out. And we post a new dressage video every Wednesday.